Hey guys, so for today's episode of Bookkeeping Business Secrets Podcast, we're going to be talking about a rookie mistake, we're going to be talking about a business lesson I learned, then we're also going to have a wild card lesson as well. So inside of this, the first rookie mistake that I saw, I had a message from one of our new mentorship students, and basically inside of our conversation, they were saying that they were feeling a little bit overwhelmed with like running their business as well as working their job. Because this student in particular, like most students I work with, like when they start, they have a full-time job. Like, because most people are not really to the point to where it's like, you know, their business is supporting itself enough to where like they can already like leave their job, right? So in a lot of cases, people are like really balancing, their side hustle business with their actual job. So she was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Like, she'd only been inside the program for like a week, so I mean it's totally reasonable for her to be feeling that way. So we just kind of give her a little bit more structure. This is one activity that I like doing with like all the students inside the program. It's just, it's really cool to be able to kind of understand like how to really structure your life so that you can go. Now the simplest way when it comes to structuring your business or like structuring your life is to split your business time in about 3 different components, okay? So what this allows you to do is allows you to kind of fit the business into your overall life without necessarily feeling very like strapped or overwhelmed. So first things first, you need to do marketing or prospecting. Now this is in terms of in the business, right? There's really 3 main functions in the business. So I don't mean you should do this at 4 a.m. in the morning, but whenever you're thinking about starting the work time for your business, number 1, marketing and prospecting. That's the activities that it takes to actually go and get consultation calls. Now inside of our program, like we give you like what to do and like what are your KPIs to go and book consultation calls consistently. But just to kind of keep this simple, right? Number 1, just get calls booked, okay? So I'm always spending in the beginning of the day. Now the reason why I like in the beginning of the day is because I know it's going to get done. If you do client work first thing in the morning, then you could get a message from your client, then you're on like the phone with QuickBooks for 3 hours, and you look back up and it's time to either get done with your work, or it's time to cook dinner, or it's time to go hang out with your family, and now the work didn't get done for the day, right? If you stack up like 20, 30, 40 days like that, and you're just starting your business, well, it's real hard to go and find any kind of traction like that, right? So first things first, we do the activities needed to go and book calls. Now, for the majority of people, that's going to be going and utilizing LinkedIn to go and build the relationships with the right people that are actually willing to get on the phone with you to go and learn about your service. So that's number 1. Number 2 is going to be sales. Okay, so that's sales related activities. That's consultation calls is like the main area of sales like in our business. So for us, I always recommend for most students who want to be successful, try and get between 1 to 3 consultation calls per week. Now that could take anywhere between 15 minutes for a consultation call, all the way to, if you do 3 times an hour, 3 hours, right? That's kind of the time block I do. So it's like you can do 15 minutes a week in terms of a consultation call and still get a client, right? But I just kind of like doing that second, because that's really the time where you're a little bit more fresh. So you've kind of taking some of the rust off yourself by doing the marketing stuff first, and now you can be a little bit more intuitive when you're talking to people. It's not going to cause you to feel too tired. It's not going to cause you to feel too drained. It's just talking to people, which depending, like if you're an introvert, like sometimes like talking to people can kind of drain you energy wise as an introvert, right? But if you are an introvert, just kind of push through as much as possible during that time. If you need to maybe take a nap afterwards or beforehand, that's definitely okay. I take anywhere between like a 10 to like 30-minute nap before or after some of my consultation calls sometimes. Because like sometimes you just don't want to talk to people on certain days, but it's just like you just have to do what you got to do. And like I know that sounds crazy, like Bryce, all you have to do all day is like talk to people. So you talk to accounting clients or you talk to mentorship clients. Like, shut up, Bryce. Your job is not that hard. I'm like, I understand, but sometimes I get tired. Sometimes I get tired. I don't know what to tell you. Right? But that's the second thing. Also, I like putting the second in my day, because if you don't have any consultation calls or any sales related activities, you can just skip that. So you made sure you did your marketing. Now you have nothing for the second part of the day. Okay, cool. The third thing we do is client work, client activity. So whether that's talking to different software, whether it's actually doing the accounting work, whether it's talking to actual clients on like your weekly client meeting. And like your weekly client meeting, that can kind of slide into the sales because you're trying to like sell them into continuing to work with you. I think a better way to think of that, instead of doing sales as number 2, is more of like meetings with people. I have that as like second, right? Because usually in our profession, like even if you're meeting with someone, you're basically selling them on the fact that they made the right decision to work with you in the first place. And like every single time you're adding more value, that's again digging the sale a little bit deeper and deeper in their mind. And that's what causes clients to like want to be retained with you, and like your client retention to be really high. So in actually doing the work itself, I put this as a third option. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, well, Bryce, if I don't do the client work, none of the clients going to work with me. Yes and no. Like you can lose a client. Like even if you're doing a great job, you can keep a client if you're doing a terrible job. We had a client that stuck with us she was a retail shop. She stuck with us for 3 years. We were late on her books for 3 years. Every month for 3 years we were behind, and she stayed with us all the way until she died. Okay, like she did not care. She just loved us, right? Because we're likable people, you know. We do good work. People like us. The information we give and like the analysis we give people, they really like it, you know. But I have that third because, again, if you have no sales activity, as soon as you get done with your marketing prospecting, you can just start doing the client work. Now, I also like doing that last because client work, like you can really go down a bunch of different rabbit holes. Like maybe there's like an error message or something just not feeding correctly, or or it's a cleanup project, or it's like a new software you don't really know how to use. Like there was a software that I had to actually call into the software and like talk to one of the reps and see like, hey, do you guys actually have like an accountant access? We have to log into like the client's version of the portal. Are we allowed to do that? Do we need like a third-party authorization? Like what's kind of going on with this kind of software? And you know, that took about an hour. That was a long time. Now, usually I don't do that at this stage, but this software, it was just a kind of a unique software, and I felt like, you know, it's something that we just had to kind of learn. So that's why I started talking to them from start to finish in terms of that. But really structuring your day will cause you to be able to be more effective and not just maintain clients that you have in the beginning, but also be able to get new ones. Because there's nothing worse than like doing your best on clients, and most people assume that they do really good with their client work, their client's going to refer them more business. That's not always true. I know a lot of people that have never gotten a referral from one of their existing clients. All the referrals are from like outside people who they either don't work or like they just formed a partnership with, or it's do like most of their like marketing like itself. So it's like that's kind of a fallacy when you think, oh, if I just do a great job, my practice will fill up. In some cases it can happen, but in most cases it doesn't really happen like that, right? So it's like you have to make sure that you're doing some form of marketing so that you can constantly fill that pipeline so we can get more and more and more new people, right? And then it's just like, and there will come a point to where you don't really need to always go after more people, right? Depending on like what your revenue goal is. But unless you're at that point, you need to put in the time to actually go and start getting like the marketing clients. Yeah. Next thing, so business lesson, okay? So the business lesson of the week is do not get distracted. Focus on one path. So this is one thing for me because I'm kind of my personality is one of like, anytime I get bored, things are going really well, or if I'm just like, or things are moving slowly, my brain starts spasming, just a million different ideas. And every single time there's like a new idea, it's like it's cool and it gives me more energy, and I feel really good, and I don't feel like it prevents me from feeling burned out, but it leads me down just a random rabbit hole where it's like anywhere between like 3 to 6 months of just wasted time, wasted energy. And the problem is with a lot of like marketing stuff that you're gonna do is everything that you do is going to work to a certain degree. But if you have one marketing channel that's working very, very well, it will cause that main marketing channel to actually go and disintegrate essentially. Right? Because we only have so much energy and so much focus every single day and every single week. And even if you have a team, your team still only has so much focus. Most people who are going to like hire or bring on for your team are actually, in a lot of cases in the beginning, this is not always the case, but in the beginning, they're going to be worse off than you. So like if you're maybe like a 7 out of 10 in terms of like marketing, the person you hired to do your marketing would probably be like a 5 out of 10. Right? So generally what happens in business is that you are sacrificing efficiency with convenience. So the convenience in this case is that you have someone that's doing the marketing for you. So even though you were 7 out of 10, so it's better, when this other person comes in, it's going to be a little bit worse, but you don't have to give your direct time outside of maybe supervising or managing that person. So it kind of makes up for it. Now, the goal also is you can actually expand past your existing capacity. So even though it's a 5 out of 10, if you multiply 5 out of 10 times 2, okay, well now you're 10 out of 10 because you had 2 people. Now, it will mean you have to go and manage people more, right? So that kind of does negate a little bit of the convenience, but there will come a time to where you don't have to micromanage the person because they will figure out, like, for example, for me, some of my virtual assistants, I only talk to them like once a month when I have to like pay them for like the work they've done. Like, they just do their job. They're really good. They're really highly skilled. I don't have to talk to them because they've already built up that trust with me from doing really, really good work. So it just really kind of it's kind of like an ebb and flow of learning how much oversight someone needs so that you don't have to like encroach on your freedom. That's a big thing that was like really important to me. But going back, it's like, just don't get distracted. If you know, for example, that the main way you get clients is from building relationships. Let's say it's like online networking, for example. Like, you go on like LinkedIn, you build a relationship, the person wants to work with you or they don't want to work with you. If you can just stay focused on getting better at that, that will take you to 6 figures way faster than trying to learn a new advertising skill. Let's say like, so let's say I got 2 clients from like the LinkedIn method. I would rather stick in it and go and get like 15 clients from the LinkedIn method than go and try and do something that's more scalable, like a Facebook ad. Now, that phrase scalable, that phrase will lead to more mistakes in your business career than anything else. If you are not at a stage where you need to scale or you're just getting started, do not talk about scale. That's going to distract you. Okay? You need the thing that has the most certainty. Don't look for speed, look for certainty. Okay? If something's already got new clients, just do that same exact thing until it stops working. Because I guarantee if it worked once, it's not going to stop working. It's just like, especially if you're doing it at a small scale. If you were able to message every person on LinkedIn and you just like totally exhausted the audience or the network or whatever, okay, I would say something different. But if you're only talking to like maybe like 3 people a month, you only get like 2 clients a month from it, like, that's not going to be exhausting it. So you can literally do that for like the next like 10 years. It's just most people won't do it for 10 years because they're going to get distracted. They're going to see like, oh, you should do posting on Facebook. Oh, have you tried Yelp? Oh, have you tried Upwork? Oh, have you tried this? Oh, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Well, have you done this? Well, you're already doing this, but this is the new thing, right? Don't worry about the new thing. Just whatever is working for you already, stick with that. Just stick with, like, it will continue to work. It might not be at the speed with which you want. So like, if you want something that's a little bit faster, and like if you know you can commit to something if it's the right thing, like we teach you a lot of different marketing strategies inside of like our mentorship program. So it'll just help you kind of get there a little bit faster, so you don't have to worry about like getting distracted. But that's the main thing, man. If you just don't get distracted, then you will definitely succeed. Like, that's the one thing I'm always reminded of. I even have like a message on my calendar for the month of July, which is like, usually in July I'll try like some kind of new like initiative or project or something, and it generally like causes me to get like distracted. So I literally have on my like calendar, no new things for 30 days. I don't care. I don't care how cool it is. I don't care. Like, no new things for 30 days. And that just keeps me kind of grounded and like focus on the things that I need to do in order to actually go and like get the longer term goals done. It's like every single time that like I ignore distractions, my bank account goes up by actually like 10, 15, 20 grand. As soon as I get the distraction, it either stays the same or I have to go and invest in something, and you have to like, you basically waste a month essentially. So if you just stay focused, that's all you have to do, okay? Then you'll be able to be successful long term. How much time? Next thing that I was reminded of, so this is for our wild card for the week, okay? I was actually driving probably about an hour ago, and I passed by my childhood home, and it just kind of gave me this like, I don't know, this kind of like nostalgia where it's just sitting there like, man, you know, how far have we come in life? And I think the lesson of that is just like, always be kind of like thankful of where you are. Like, I understand like you might not be in the exact spot that you want to be at, but just like really being able to kind of sit there and just like be grateful. That's been something that's like really helpful for me. Anytime that like when I was like first starting my business and like I wasn't doing very well, I would like literally write down like in a journal, and I would just like literally just write down like, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this. And then like literally over time, like all the stuff I was grateful for ended up coming true. That's actually a tip. So if you want something, write that you're grateful for it in the present tense, and oftentimes you'll get it. It generally will take like 1 to 3 years of you writing down your goal for you to actually get it. So you might as well so make sure, whatever goal you write down is something that if it took you 3 years to get it, it would actually be worth it. Like, don't make your goal like, I want to make $2,000 a month. If it took you 3 years to get to $2,000 a month, that wouldn't be worth it. You might as well set your goal for like $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 a month, right? So if it takes you 3 years, by the time you get there, okay, you can be really good, right? If you get to like 15, if you can get to like $15,000 a month, that's really a really good spot to be in, especially if you're good at like saving your money. You don't have like huge expenses. That's a really good spot, especially if you can put like at least like $100K a year inside of like your investments. That's really gonna start going, because after 2 years you're at like $200,000 inside the bank. So let's say 200,000 times, we'll say like 15%. If you get a 15% return on your $200,000 in the bank, that's an extra $30,000 per year, right? So if you do your $15,000 a month, that's $180,000 a year plus 30,000 plus 30,000. You're cracking 210, right? You're the top like 3% of income earners if you can do that. So it's like just really be thankful for where you are in the moment, and then just make sure you have goals that are actually going to be like good and worthy of it. And then when it actually comes true, it's so much better. Okay? So those are our 3 learning lessons for like the week, right? So rookie mistake was you have to make sure you're structuring your day correctly. And if you can structure your day correctly, break it into 3, you're going to be able to really make your progress going. Next thing is the business lesson of the week is don't get distracted. Focus on one path until successful. Because if you just focus and you don't get distracted, you're not going to have to like slow down. Next thing is always be grateful for where you have. I was reminded of that when I went to my childhood home and I had a bit of nostalgia, and I just remembered how far I've come in my life. Okay? So hopefully you learned something new. This has been the Bookkeeping Business Secrets Podcast, and really grateful for you. Now, if you can, please help me out. Go and share this podcast with someone who you feel could benefit from the information. If you know someone that's starting a bookkeeping business or even an accounting business and they just don't really know what they don't know in order to succeed, please share this video with them so that they can help them out. If you care about that person, share this video. I would love to see if we can help you. Okay? Talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day. Take it easy. I will see you inside of next week's episode.